The teacher had no idea that that little girl's father had fought in the war and had died. And that night I said to my staff, I'm a teacher. We can do better. We've got to do better to help our military kids. The Bidens have a track record of helping military families, and we've seen it with their work that they've done with joining forces and how they were able to, rally a country behind us.
Men and women we send to war to defend our nation. Care for them and their families while they're gone, and care for them and their families when they come home.
That's what Joe's character
It was the very
Joe
first
Biden's
time that
character is
I, as a
respect.
military
And I would
spouse,
love
felt like
to see him
someone
in
was
the White
listening to
House.
us and someone cared. It's not just the service member who serves, the entire family serves as well. Joe said we have one sacred obligation to take care of our military members. During this pandemic, for sure, so many veterans have lost their jobs.
This is heartbreaking.
That's one of the things that will be a priority in a Biden administration.
We need to vote like our vote
All
depends.
Americans have
We need to make Joe Biden this legendary man, this man who's done so much for people, truly who he is. An icon, a legend, a true president, and a true icon. We need to make Joe Biden president.
Good evening. I'm Tammy Duckworth. When I first enlisted in the Army, I was eager to serve my country, yet anxious whether I'd be able to earn my way into the ranks. But I earned my wings and later commanded my own air assault unit, learning that serving and leading in the military is both a privilege and a sacrifice. May order them to sacrifice everything for our great nation. To do that, leaders must command their troops respect and be worthy of their pledge to protect and defend our Constitution no matter the cost. But military service doesn't just take sacrifice from those in uniform. It's required from their families too. My husband Brian was the one who rushed to Walter Reed after I was wounded in Iraq. He was the one holding my hand, waiting for me to wake up. And when I finally did, he was my rock, getting me through those hours, weeks, months of unspeakable pain and unending surgeries. He was my anchor as I relearned to walk, helping me through every step and every stumble. Our military spouses hold their families together, praying for their loved ones' safety wherever they're deployed and serving as caregivers to our disabled service members, and then picking up the pieces and starting again whenever the next tour or the next war arises. Joe Biden understands these sacrifices because he's made them himself. When his son Beau deployed to Iraq, his burden was also shouldered by his family. Joe knows the fear military families live because he's felt that dread of never knowing if your deployed loved one is safe. He understands their bravery because he has had to muster that same strength every hour of every day Beau was overseas. That's the kind of leader our service members deserve. One who understands the risks they face and who would actually protect them by doing his job as commander-in-chief. Instead, they have a coward-in-chief who won't stand up to Vladimir Putin, read his daily intelligence briefings, or even publicly admonish adversaries for reportedly putting bounties on our troops' heads. As president, Joe Biden would never let tyrants manipulate him like a puppet. He would never pervert our military to stroke his own ego. He would never turn his back on our troops or threaten them against Americans peacefully exercising their constitutional rights. Joe Biden would stand up for what's right, stand tall for our troops, and stand strong against our enemies. Because unlike Trump, Joe Biden has common decency. He has common sense. He can command, both from experience and from strength. Donald Trump doesn't deserve to call himself commander-in-chief for another 4 minutes, let alone another 4 years. Our country deserves better. If you agree, text MORE to 30330 to elect Joe Biden, a leader who actually cares enough about America to lead.
Biden, and Joe Biden is my dad.
Some voices are never silenced. Some work never ceases to change lives. Some people never stop.
The man who deserves to be president. A man who we need now more than ever. Grandfather, father, soldier, senator, attorney general.
Just 46 years on this earth.
He did in 46 years what most of us couldn't do in 146.
Vice president
The day that dawns for children
and president who will fix everything.
whose lives are full because of him.
Thank you, Joe.
About the day that dawns for parents who rest easier and families who
Man,
are freer because of him. Some folks may never know that their lives are better because of Beau Biden, but that's okay. Certainly for Beau, acclaim was never the point of public service.
If you knew Bo, you knew he lived by the strictest code of honor, duty, service, country. You never had to ask if he would do something the right way. He didn't know any other way.
Beau didn't cut corners. He turned down an appointment to be Delaware's Attorney General so he could win it fair and to finish his job as AG instead. After 9/11, he joined the National Guard. He felt it was his obligation. He did his duty to his country and deployed to Iraq.
Beau Biden served his country in battle. He prosecuted one of the worst child predators in American history. And even though he is no longer with us, every day he still inspires
This is for you, Joe.
the next president of the United
This is for this great man.
Possible for me to be here this fall. So I have something to ask of you. Be there for my dad, like he was for me.
We will, Bo. We will, Bo.
A couple of years ago, I was absolutely terrified. One of the first people who called me was Joe. His real warmth and kindness on that call.
Joe's a
Man, I
kind
gotta
young
say,
man.
it made me cry. Our current president has made me cry too, but it's
doesn't
never
care.
had anything to do with his warmth or kindness.
Joe Biden's a man
Joe
that cares.
Biden's empathy is genuine. You can feel
Joe
it.
Biden, when you
That's
tell
why
him his
President Obama asked Joe to head up the cancer moonshot. President Obama. Mayor Pete Buttigieg also knows something about sacrifice. He volunteered and was deployed to Afghanistan, then returned home to Indiana to become a highly effective public servant. Say hi to Mayor Pete.
Good evening. Beau Biden lived a life of service, in office and in uniform. When you put your life on the line for this country, you do it not because it's the country you live in, but because it's a country you believe in. I believe in this country because America uniquely holds the promise of a place where everyone can belong. We know that for too many and for too long, that promise has been denied. But we also know America is at its best when we make that circle of belonging wider. Just over 10 years ago, I joined a military where firing me because of who I am wasn't just possible, it was policy. Now, in 2020, it is unlawful in America to fire someone because of who they are or who they love. The very ring on my finger, a wedding we celebrated, here where I'm standing, reflects how this country can change. Love makes my marriage real, but political courage made it possible, including that of Joe Biden, who stepped out ahead even of this party when he said that marriage equality ought to be the law of the land. There is a long way to go, but if this much can change between 2010 and 2020, imagine what could change between now and 2030. Imagine what we could achieve. This coalition we are building this very season, gathering progressives and moderates, independents, and even what I like to call future former Republicans, standing for an America where everyone belongs. Joe Biden is right. This is a contest for the soul of the nation. And to me, that contest is not between good Americans and evil Americans. It's the struggle to call out what is good in every American. It's up to us. Will America be a place where faith is about healing and not exclusion? Can we become a country that lives up to the truth that Black lives matter? Will we handle questions of science and medicine by turning to scientists and doctors? Will we see to it that no one who works full-time can live in poverty? I trust Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to guide us toward that better future because I've seen up close their empathy and their capacity. Just as I've seen my fellow Americans' capacity to support and include one another in new ways and do better by the promise of America. The day I was born, the idea of an out candidate seeking any federal office at all was laughable. Yet earlier this year, I campaigned for the presidency, often with my husband Chasten at my side, winning delegates to this very convention. Now I come to this convention proudly supporting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, joining fellow Democrats who were squaring off in competition just a few months ago.
Joe Biden, I know, is loyal to his country.
Welcome to everybody at home. I am very excited to present to you a group of people that ran in the 2020 Democratic primary against Joe Biden. You could think of this sort of like Survivor on the out interviews of all the people that got voted off the island. Bernie, don't you laugh, because I got questions for you like, why does my girlfriend like you more than she likes me? But
because she's smarter than you, and that's the obvious answer, right?
Hey, I'm curious because Senator Sanders and Senator Klobuchar, you actually served with Joe Biden in the Senate. I'm wondering if you have the memories of what he was like as a colleague in the Senate.
Well, I remember one night.